In this video today, I'm going to show you how to make a zero clearance insert for the Festool Kapex. But if you don't have the Festool Kapex, not to worry. The steps are going to be exactly the same. Why do you need one, or do you need one? No insert, it's big and wide. This will be worst case scenario. And I'm going to use a piece of 18 mil ply that is a high grade finish ply that has a beautiful but thin surface on both sides. So if this is gonna, if wood's gonna tear out and splinter, this is gonna be the kind of wood that does. There's a little bit, but not much. I don't know if the camera will pick this up. This is the back side of the cut. So I question whether they're really essential, but we're gonna make one anyway. I'm gonna use plywood, measure the length and width. Now I did that, but I also have the supplemental manual from Festool, and I will put a link to it so you can go and download it. It's absolutely free. I want to rough it out 49 millimeters wide. They give you the inches as well, but 49, and then the overall length is 352. The thickness is 7.5 millimeters. I'm liking these hedgehogs, by the way. They work really well. And that one's a little too tight, so I'm going to send it through the table saw one more time. So we're good on the width. Now I'm going to cut it to length. My board's long enough for at least two, and then I have this one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 more to length so I have backups. That one did chip up. I wasn't as careful as I could have been, so maybe this zero clearance will have some good use after all. When I pull the saw out and slide back in, I get a much better cut than when I cut straight through. Now I'm going to run them through the planer to get to the thickness I want. If you don't have a planer, do not run out and buy one. You can do it on your table saw. This first one that I made, I actually did it on the table saw. I ran it through vertically. This is the fall off. You can see how nice and straight that was. I did that by running the blade a little more than halfway through the piece, and then I flipped it over and ran it through and got it all done that way. There's a depth gauge on the planer, but right now that's too much material for it to take off. So I'm going to have to take off a little bit and then work my way to take more off. The next step is rounding the corners. I'm going to use the oscillating belt sander to do that. You could just cut these on the miter saw, little 45s. Perfect fit. They're flush and they fit right in. Distance in from the edge is 6.5. So I'm going to lay that out as a line. Pick one of those marks. Put your tip of your marker, your pencil on there, and then take your finger and put it on that edge just to hold it straight. And then you can just do the whole line. 12.5 in from the end. Time to drill the hole. Since I have 3 of them to do, I'm going to go ahead and set up and drill through a pilot hole for all of those. I figured out how deep I wanted to drill it with a test hole, and then I took a marker and just, with it spinning in that hole, put the marker up against it, and I got a nice black line. And just to double check, yeah, it's a little deeper than it needs to be, but that'll be good. The hole for the screw, I'm going to oversize a little bit. That gives me a little play if I didn't get the layout just right. Now I'm going to chop straight down, which was the way that I was able to chip it up before. Let's see if this helps. Yeah, that's a clean cut. So the zero clearance definitely helps. Miters, it's not going to change this at all. It'll only be when I go do bevels that it'll cut out a little bit more of it. Way over to 45 or 47, then it'll widen it up quite a bit. But that's okay. I don't do bevels that much, but if I do a bevel, it's not going to be any worse than the factory one. And I have backup, so I can keep one ready to go as a zero clearance and make sure that if I'm going to start doing bevels, I'll switch over. If this video was helpful to you anyway, if you appreciate it, then right down below, there's a thumbs up. If you'll click on that, like right now while we're talking, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost you anything, and it's really valuable to the channel to help us grow. If you'd like to get a detailed set of plans to build a smart station like this, a smart bench like this, any of the accessories that work with the smart system, or a smart wood shop, click on the link in the description of this video down below. Mahalo.